Marcia Morgan. Do you often adjust your goals and dreams to fit your circumstances rather than adjusting your circumstances to fit your goals and dreams? If so, you're not alone. A lot of women have that same experience. I've experienced that as well. Today, we're going to talk about a fun and unique way to think about your goals, to focus on your goals, and to make them happen. I'm going to be talking about goal objects. Go for short. Goal objects are items, things that the woman or girl picks, selects for herself that symbolize the goal or dream that she wants to pursue. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I've had the opportunity to work with women and girls for over 40 years around the US and actually overseas as well. And what I learned was that many women do just adjust those circumstances. So I took a number of ideas and created the concept of goal objects. I looked at three things. The first is the idea of vision boards or dream boards. You may have heard about that, and you may actually have one yourself. What they are is a board where you cut out pictures like from magazines or photos that you may have, and you put it on that board. Maybe it's on the front of your refrigerator. And you think about those things and you want them to come into your life. It's a great idea, and I'm not minimizing that at all because it's good to visualize what you want. But it is kind of one-dimensional. Dreams don't work unless you do. So I took that idea of the visualizing, but I took it one step further. The second thing I looked at then was the idea of an action plan. I looked at the business literature and how action plans are put together and how that could work then with the idea of visualization. And then the third thing was to look at altars. Now, you may think that's a funny thing, or you think about altars, maybe you think about in a religious sense, and although they can be, the idea of an altar is a place where there are a number of things that symbolize something. In my travels around the world, I found that there are altars of many different kinds. Many of them may be around transitional sorts of things like life, like birth, death, maybe someone graduating, any kind of celebration. Many cultures celebrate when a girl transitions into womanhood. What I did find interesting too about these altars is that almost all of them are created by and maintained by women throughout the world. So it's kind of an interesting feminine sort of thing when you look at it as well. So the vision board idea, the action planning, and altars, you think about all that, roll it into one, and it's the idea of having a goal object. Research also shows when you are reminded of the goal or dream that you are trying to pursue, you're twice as likely to have it happen, that regular reminding. So that's what a goal object is. It can be anything or it can be located anywhere. So if you want to be reminded of your goal, I suggest having it nearby. So you might have it next to your computer. You might have it next to your bed on the bedstand, next to the sink. Some people have an item they keep on their keychain. Some might have it as a screensaver. It's something that you see regularly. And as I mentioned, it can be anything. So you might look around your own home. Maybe you've got something that works. You might go to a store, like a craft store kind of place. I often suggest Christmas stores because many of the ornaments that you see now have a lot of different themes, and that can be a fun thing to do. Maybe walking out in nature, maybe there's some pine cone or something that symbolizes you're wanting to go to national parks. Whatever it might be, it's very individual and very unique. So what might they look like? What type of display? It could be a single item. For instance, this is a little camel that a woman had because she wanted to travel the world. And so she saw this every day, and it kept her eye on the prize, kept her reminding her of what she wanted to do. And the action plan that I talk about in my book that you put together with your item, with your goal object, that can help you move along that way. Some people, excuse me, as I said, have their item, as a keychain or just next to their bed. Some people actually put them in little like this little tin that you can make your own little display inside of a tin that you could keep in your backpack or your purse that you might see every day as well. They can be very small, like that camel, or they can be larger. This is the type of thing that, a woman who wanted to go to law school, and she had the Scales of Justice, Lady Justice, on her desk that reminded her of what she needed to do, that she had the LSAT book or study book right next to it as well. They can be very fun, and the whole process of putting them together, I mentioned in the book, it walks the reader through the steps of putting it together. This was one of the more clever ones, and I hope that you can see it okay. This was a woman who wanted to open up a food truck where she was selling cupcakes. So she had this little truck that has the word cupcakes on it, and then she took a muffin tin, and there's 12 slots, and in each one she had a number, so it symbolized 12 months of activities. She was giving herself a year to get this food truck off the ground, so to speak. So in each month, she had little slips of paper where she had figured out what she needed to do that month, what licenses she needed to get, the recipes she needed to develop, the training that she needed to have, the setup itself in the truck, the buying of the truck, the graphics on the outside. So there were a lot of steps, and she plotted it out over a 12-month period and looked at this every day. So I thought that was kind of a fun one. To use a muffin tin for her Go display. Another one, and this happens to be mine, and this is a big one, so bear with me here. This one is actually a little cabinet that I purchased at a thrift store that has a lot of different things in it. The side cubby holes, if you can kind of see, are things that represent support to me in my life. So there's things with my friends. There's a rock that I wrote all of my friends' names on, my parents, my husband, all different kinds of people that help me. In the centerpiece, if you can kind of see that, I have a key, and on the key it says the word compassion, because I don't want to do anything in life without compassion. You open that up, and this little symbol for me is a woman that I would love to be. She has great energy. She flies, not in a literal sense, but hopefully flies in her life with a lot of energy and passion. And there's sand at the bottom, because I'm kind of a beach person, and I get my inspiration from the beach. And then there's a number of different words and things that mean something to me inside of there. And at the very top, I actually use index cards where I have my different goals. So this is kind of me, my support system that I look at every day, and then I've got my ideas for my goals, and actually putting them on index cards, I can change them once I've achieved that goal. So like I said, it can be elaborate, it can be simple, whatever it is, have it be fun, but have it be meaningful to you, to remind you of what your true passion is and what you want out of life. So I'll just close with this, because there's so much to say about the goal objects. I hope you'll go out and find one today that symbolizes what you want in life, and put it right next to you every day so that you can see that. Go to my website, take a look at some of the great pictures people have submitted of some of their goal objects. Once again, my website is marciakmorgan.com. Marcia spelled M-A-R-C-I-A, middle initial K, Morgan.com. You can also download a free copy of a handout, which is called How Close Am I to Reaching My Goals? It's a great one to download for free that kind of helps you assess where you are in the process, in this journey that we all have, and it's very, very individual. The second is check out some of my other YouTube shows that I've got going. I talk about one about the 19 common barriers that women often face, and how to navigate those barriers when you're going for your goals. So there's a lot of them with different topics. And then lastly, I hope you'll pick up a copy of my book. It's called Go, How to Get Going and Achieve Your Goals and Dreams at Any Age. It's for women of any age, whether you're 14 or 84. We all have our own goals, and it's so important. We hopefully won't put them on the back burner no matter what age we are. So take a look at that. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, through your local library or your local bookstore. So I hope you can create the life you want. Go.